Hola, necesitas sacar el paquete de gramática porque hoy vamos a tomar apuntes sobre mandatos informales, o en inglés, to commands. The word for commands in Spanish is mandatos. We are going to love commands because we use commands to be able to tell someone how to do something. In English, the command forms are the same as the infinitive, just without the to. So for example, when I want to tell Sophia to eat dinner, I take away the to from to eat dinner and I just tell her eat dinner. In English, when I want to make a negative command, I just have to add the word don't. So instead of telling Sophia eat dinner, I can just add the word don't to make it negative, and it would be don't eat dinner. In Spanish, the to command has a negative form and an affirmative form. So you can see the affirmative form of be good is say bueno. And then if we want to say don't be rude, we would say no seas mal educado. You can see that for the negative form we had to add the word no, but also the command changed. Really quick, do you remember who you would use to commands with? You would probably use to commands with friends, classmates, or family members, especially younger family members. To tell someone you address as to do something, you are going to use an affirmative informal command. To form this type of verb, an affirmative informal command, all we're going to do is drop the S off of the to form of the command. So hablas, which means you talk, I drop my S, and I now have my command, habla, talk, or speak. This is a command I could give to a classmate in class when we're doing a speaking activity. Speak, habla. Comes, which means you eat, I drop the S off the to form, and I now have my command, come. Eat, come. This could be a command I could give Sophia when eating dinner. Come, eat. Pides, I take the S off of my to form, and then I have my command, pide. Ask for, order, pide. Let's go ahead and do an example sentence with commands. We want to tell Juan to collect and recycle the cans, please. Why don't you go ahead and pause the video so you can go ahead and form the command forms of collect, which is recoger, and recycle, which is reciclar. And remember, the vocab word for cans is las latas. So, the affirmative to command for Juan would be Juan, recoge y recicla las latas, por favor. All we did was take the S off of the to form, and bam, we got our commands. Here is a cute little poem that might help you remember how to form affirmative informal commands. For commands about you, go to, drop the S, and baby don't stress. Now, it wouldn't be Spanish without some irregular forms, and we do have irregular affirmative informal commands as well. The following verbs are going to be irregular commands for us in the to form. Venir is ven, decir is di, salir is sal, hacer is haz, tener is ten, ir is ve, poner is pon, and ser is se, con un acento. Let's go ahead and do 2 examples with these irregular forms. Go to the store and tell the truth. Go ahead and pause the video to see if you can figure out these 2 examples on your own before we check them. Go to the store. Ve a la tienda. Tell the truth. Di la verdad. We also have a way to remember our irregular affirmative 2 commands. Vin, di, sal, as, ten, vans. It's a cute mnemonic device to help us remember some of the irregular verb commands. Negative informal commands are used to tell someone you address us to not to do something. To form a negative informal command, we have 3 steps. Take the present tense yo form of a verb, drop the o, add es to AR verbs, and add as to ER-IR verbs. Let's do an example with the verb gastar. We want to tell someone not to spend too much money. Let's go through our steps first. Gasto, I went to my yo form, took off my o, step 2, and in step 3, I'm going to add on es, since gastar is an AR verb. Gastes. So, to tell someone don't spend too much money, I would say, no gastes demasiado dinero. Let's do an ER example with the verb comer and tell someone don't eat too much candy. I go to the yo form, como, I take off my o, and then I'm going to add as onto the end because comer is an ER verb. So, to tell someone don't eat too much candy, I'm going to say no comas demasiados dulces. And finally, let's do an example with escribir. Let's tell someone, don't write on the wall. I'm going to go to my yo form, escribo, take off that O, and since escribir is an IR ending, I am going to add an AS onto the end, escribas. So, to tell someone, don't write on the wall, I'm going to say, no escribas en la pared. Stem-changing verbs and verbs that have irregular yo forms also follow this pattern. For instance, jugar. I go to the yo form, I take off my o, and since jugar is an AR verb, I'm going to add on es. Don't play with your food. No juegues con tu comida. Now let's look at the verb decir, which also has an irregular yo form. I go to my irregular yo, drop the o, and since decir is an IR verb, I'm going to add on as. Don't tell lies. No digas mentiras. You can see going to the yo form is very important. Verbs that end in car, gar, zar, and hair have a spelling change to preserve the consonant sound of the infinitive, which just means that they're going to have a spelling change so it sounds the way it's supposed to. Let's look at a car verb first, like criticar. The C is going to change to a QU. So, step 1, go to my yo form, critico. Step 2, I take off my O. Step 3, I change the C to a QU. And since criticar is an AR verb, I'm going to add on ES. Critiques. Let's do a GAR example now with llegar. I'm going to have a G to GU spelling change so it sounds right once it's conjugated. Go to my yo form, llego, drop that O. I do the G to GU change, and since llegar is an AR verb, I'm going to add ES onto the end. Llegues. A zar example, like the verb empezar, has a Z to C spelling change. Empiezo, I went to my yo form. I dropped that O. I did my Z to C spelling change in step number 3. And in step number 4, since zar, like empezar verbs or AR verbs, I'm going to add on ES, empieces. And finalmente, we have a hair verb example like recoger. I go to my yo form, which actually has a J. I take off the O. And since recoger is an ER verb, I'm going to add an AS ending. Recojas. So back to our grid. Car verbs have a C to QU change. Gar verbs have a G to GU change. Zar verbs have a Z to C change. And hair verbs have a G to J change. So don't criticize. No critiques. Don't arrive late. No llegues tarde. Don't start. No empieces. And don't clear the table. No recojas la mesa. We do have 4 verbs that are going to be completely irregular when we are making negative informal commands. Dar is des, estar is estés, ir is vayas, and ser is seas. So, don't go to the party. No vayas a la fiesta. Don't be boring. No seas aburrido. Don't give me more advice. No me des más consejos. Don't be sad. No estés triste. These 4 are the super irregulars.